Education USA. So please.
Thank you so much, Marty. Welcome, everyone. And as Marty said, my name is Eshraq Alkhabbaz. I'm the Senior Education Advisor at the US Embassy in Riyadh. Let me just give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen so we can start. Let me just... I'm not sure why I cannot. Oh, here, hold on. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now. Yeah.
Can you see like the presentation, the 5 steps?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. So today we're going to talk about the 5 step to US study, which is like a common presentation we do to students, but also we work with the 5 steps on a regular basis with the students. But before I go deep into the 5 steps, I want to talk a little bit about the Education USA and what is Education USA. So we are a global network of advising centers from the U.S. Department's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, which we call it ECA, and which provide access to introductory information on U.S. study. What we do, we promote U.S. higher education around the world. As Marty mentioned, there are over 430 Education USA advising centers around more than 175 countries. We target international students, U.S. higher education community, local educational institutions, NGOs. So we work with diverse stakeholders just to help either students, you as a student to study in the U.S. or also the local communities in the U.S. Higher education to be able to reach out to you so you can learn more about studying in the U.S. We provide, a lot of advice and services to students. We make sure that our services and the advice that we provide to you as a student, accurate, current, and comprehensive information about the full range of accredited U.S. higher education institutions. Our services range between informative sessions, one-on-one sessions, webinars, workshops, showcases, seminars, mobility fairs, educational fairs, and more. And that all depends on the center where they are located. And these centers also, the location of these centers varies from one country to another. You could see some centers are based in the US embassies and consulates, some are based on the Fulbright commissions, binational centers, universities, nonprofit organizations, and it just varies, it depends on the country. But all of our centers, do outreach, or most of us do outreach at local educational institutions, like visits, participation with different organizations, just to teach everyone, or a lot about, what we can offer and how can we help to promote U.S. higher education, but also to help the students and different organizations to help also students or their, for example, employees to study in the US. And we do virtual, and in-person events and outreach, depends on where we are also. But we do that also locally and regionally. So this is basically about Education USA. So the 5 steps, we always talk about the 5 steps. So what are these steps that we consider 5 major steps to consider when is interested in studying in the US? Research your options, finance your studies, complete your application, apply for your US student visa, and prepare for your departure. So the first one, research your option, which is very, very important step because there are about or more than 4,000 accredited US institutions in the US. So it's a little bit overwhelming for students or even parents, to just go over these. So we help you navigate through these institutions and identify the ones that best fit your needs. The journey takes about like 12 to 18 months prior to the academic year. So, searching and identifying potential institutions that you really want to study at is a key component of like which direction you are going to. We work also not only with the students who are interested in studying like a 4 years degree for their bachelor's or like, for their graduate studies, but also with the student exchange visitor program. We help you find the best fit for you. We understand that universities try to find the best students that fit their university, but also this is your future. You need to make sure that this university really what you want and fits your future goals. And this is what you want to study. This is the location that you want to study at. This is the atmosphere, geographically or financially or academically. Like there are different components that you need to consider when you do new research institutions. So we make sure that these institutions meet your academic, financial, and personal needs. And also we help you define your priorities, and we look at, as I mentioned, your academic, your future goals, your finances. Like, are you able to go to a big university, big city, or you need like with your finances and your academic and your credential, you need to go to a smaller one. So we work with you in different way just to identify these and define your priorities. And as I mentioned before, there are a lot of accredited universities, like closer to 4,000, if not more. So there are different websites that you can go to, but we make sure that also you go to websites that are legit, that we make sure that the information these websites provide is the right information. So these are the ones that we typically recommend to students, and Big Future, Study in the States are the two most popular ones for undergraduate and grad schools that come for the graduate students. So these websites help you filter in different ways that will help you also define like which one really is best for me. After you define like the major that you want to study, your finances and everything, this will help you look for the universities and pick which ones that you are interested in applying to. After you research your options, you identify the universities that you really want to, like the major that you want to study and the universities that provide that major that fits your future goals. We go then to the next step, which is finance your studies. We help you planning, your finances as early as possible, because that will identify so many things: which school you are going to, which state, which city, because each university, the tuition and the cost of living and everything is different. So you cannot like based on the same tuition or living expenses of California, like Illinois, for example. That's two different ways. So we make sure like, you plan that, we assess your funding, your cost and expenses, like for example, the cost of the application, the tuition, fees and living, compared to what you currently have, of money that you have that you could support your study. We help you look for different scholarships, loans, special opportunities, especially like for those students who are athletes or maybe in music, like special programs. Then develop a budget based on what you have found, like, if your family is supporting you, or if you have a scholarship, or maybe some of the scholarship from university and your family, and then which university will best fit with your finances after the academic. And then identify different ways also to reduce expenses while you are studying, and help you like, navigate the financial aid application and then send it on time. So hopefully you can get some financial aid from the university. The third step is like complete your application. Help you navigate through that and know the document and requirements. So the common requirements, it's like for both undergraduate and graduate, which is admission test, English test, recommendation letters, essays, transcript, portfolio for some specific programs, the online application and the application fee. For the undergraduate, like the tests are different from undergraduate to graduate, and the other requirements for undergraduate, typical requirement is ACT, SAT, and which, like, if you are looking for very competitive universities, the higher you get in these score in these tests, the better for you, especially if you are applying for I would say if you are applying for financial aid. uh, as an international student, you are required to provide an English test like IELTS, TOEFL, or any other English test that the university accepts and available in your country. For the recommendation letters, it's best for you to choose someone like academically, like from your high school, that knows you, like that person know who you are, your achievement and everything. So it's not only a common recommendation, it's a recommendation based on that person, know your achievement, know your progress, what have you done. Because admission, like people who work in the admission, they can recognize, just the common recommendation letter between the one that person really know you and, is describing what you have done. For the transcript, oh no, for the essay, I apologize. For the essays, there could be two different essays, like just general essay, personal about, about you, what you have achieved, what you want to achieve in your future. Or it could be like what they call prompt or supplemental, like in the Common App, for example, they ask you specific questions that you need to answer, and some universities does that too. So pay attention to that. Make sure you have your voice, your personality when you are writing your essay, because they want to know more about you. They have looked at your transcript, your scores and everything, but this helps them recognize you more than other students. So be yourself. Don't use really fancy words, but like be yourself. Let them really know you. Let it be interesting for them to continue your personal essay, because it makes a difference when they are looking through thousands, hundreds or thousands of other essays. They definitely will require transcripts. Some universities, they might require only your high school, the last year, but many others, they will require the last 4 years, especially if you are applying before you graduate from your high schools. And that's what we recommend for you, not to wait till you graduate. You need to apply before to make sure that you start early, like after graduation. So they will ask for the transcript beforehand, like for the last 3 years, definitely. For the portfolio, some specific programs like music, art, design, different programs, they might ask for portfolio. So you need to check their website and what they are looking for. For the online application, as I mentioned, there are two types: the Common App or the institution's web or online application, in which it differ in the type of the layout and everything, but it's basic information about you that the university is looking for to know you more and to ask for your information. But it's all similar, it's just the layout. So I know some students oh, it's a long application. It's a long application, but that's the way how they would know more about you. That's how they will gather information about you, so they can make sure that everything is clear for them, so they can admit you. Application fee is different between university and between one university or institution to another. It could be $30, it could be $100 to $80. It depends. That's for the undergraduate. For the graduate student or application, the requirements, like many programs, they will require GMAT or GRE, especially if you are looking for a doctoral program. For master's program, it depends from one program to another. Some of them, if you are looking for business like MBA or something else, definitely GMAT is for you. Other programs is GRE. Some programs are waiving GRE or GMAT, so it depends on the program itself. But in mind also, if there are sometimes the general requirements for the graduate school, then there are the specific requirements for that specific major. So it's really different from one institution to another. So you really need to read through the graduate study website and see the requirement, and then for the specific program requirements, if it is different and what they are required. Similar to undergraduate, like English, this is required, but for graduate students, it's higher. The score is higher than undergraduate students, and it varies from one institution to another. I have seen like 6.5 in IELTS to 7, minimum 6, but I would say 6 is the minimum for undergraduates most of the time. Like it's aim for higher is the best for you. In your recommendation letter, your recommender should really specify your academic and work experience. If you have work experience, they want to learn more about that, how you work with others. So some of them, they will be specific and like let the recommender, you know, send it directly to them. Some of them is different. So it's different from one institution to another because of the variety of institutions. Each one of them is different. For your essay, this is really the component as much as for undergraduate, but for a graduate, it's more important because they really want to see like, what have you done? What are you doing maybe now? And like, why you are picking this program? Why you are picking this institutions? How this program and this institution will help you in your future career? And what can you offer to them? Because graduate is more, it's really different than undergraduate. You are working with the professor side by side, and you could be working with them, like you will be working with them in research of their interest and your interest. So really there will be a lot of collaboration. And you know, many students, they will get denied because they did not specify a lot of details that are very important for the admission committee to make sure that this person or this student really fits this program and will help, you know, with this program. It's like two sides. I look at the graduate as two sides. You help them like by, you know, the knowledge that you have, they help you to support the knowledge you have, so you to grow together. So so pay attention to that when you do yours. For transcript, anything after high school, typically like they will ask for, you know, not your high school, very few who will ask for your high school. Like anything after high school, that must be submitted to the university. And also portfolios for specific programs. It's the same for the online application. There is the website of the institution application. The common app is only for undergraduate, not for the graduate. And the application fee is also difference between one institution to another. And it could be also higher than undergraduate. So once you are admitted, hopefully to the institution that you really want to study at, to, you know, to achieve your future goals, then you can start applying for your student visa. We help you become familiar with the requirements, what are the documents, how to prepare for your application and your interview. Make sure you have your I-20 and it's valid. You have your economic resources, like, you know, your finances, to make sure that it's covered up to 1 year of your study. Because like when you go to your visa appointment, you need to show them at least 1 year of finances that, you know, would help you in your study, that will cover like tuition, fees, living expenses, flights and everything. But these websites also, you could navigate them in which you will have more information about the visa, which applications you have. It's like, it's more detailed for there, and it's easy to navigate to, and it's like which type of student visa that you are looking for. And hopefully, and we also do mock interview, or just, you know, talk with the students about the interview in a way that they are relaxed, because we want to make sure when you go to your interview, you are relaxed, you are confident, you make sure that you have everything with you, you are not like scared. It's just a normal interview. They just want to know a little bit more about you, why you are going to study in the US, what's your future plan. It's not really scary, but we know like so many students are scared of like just the word interview, but we help you ease that way, hopefully, in the future. And after you get your visa, we do like a pre-departure orientation. in which we help you gather documents, requirements, everything you need before you depart to the US. So we do like Education USA pre-departure orientations in person and virtual. We could even like some centers, they will do it individual basis, depends on the students they are working with. Get ready to depart to the United States. We talk about culture, about immigration, what things you need to do and have with you before you leave here, things you need to do once you get to the country, to the US and to the institutions. And also have you checked the institution's website for information, especially now with COVID. We want to make sure like, you know, their COVID requirements, are they require you, for example, like to get the vaccine or not? Are they requiring you to do like, to stay, after you arrive there to stay like for 10 days or so before you start your study. So there are different ways like the culture and different things that we are trying to ease the way for you. And before I end, I just want to walk you through very quickly about like the journey, which is like, we recommend to start like, for example, January through March, like that's when you start to research and everything about the institutions and find the deadlines and find out for everything for the application, that you know, all the information that you need from the university. Then from March through June, then that's when you start studying for your test and register for those tests. Then, you know, then in the summer you do write your personal essay and you research and everything. And like later, you know, in the fall, you will do again, like, you know, your English test, your SAT, and any other requirements that you need. And then prepare yourself for, you know, applying for the universities and, you know, submit application, work in your financial aid, follow up with your, you know, if you, once you get your acceptance letter, you know, follow up with the university, get what you need for your, you know, to be fully admitted and finalize everything with the universities. And before you leave, definitely we want to do pre-departure orientation with you before you go and start your program, and hopefully like next year. And if you have any, and also before we turn into Q&A, like our website, EducationUSA, that's state.gov, is full of resources, information about the different centers, what we offer virtually or in person. So that will be very helpful for you to navigate as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Eshraq. It's really been a pleasure having you part of the event today and having the Education USA perspective on things. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be a part of this, especially at the end of your Eid holidays. So,
my pleasure.
Wonderful. We don't have time for questions, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry.
That's quite all right. No, a lot of great information. I know you had to get into a short amount of time. So thank you so much.
And I will be happy to answer a question, like even if students can email me, you can share my email information with them, and I'll be happy to answer any question.
Very good. Thanks so much, Eshraq. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.